Who am I trading against? That is actually the most important question that you should be asking yourself as a trader. It's an important question because trading isn't just you versus some giant market. You know, it's not like playing roulette against the casino. It's actually a lot more akin to poker. In every trade, it's you sitting across from another player, each with their own motives, strategies, and weaknesses. So if you can figure out who's on the other side of your trade, you can decide whether they're actually the type of person you want to be transacting with, or if maybe they're the type you should avoid entirely. All right, so there are four main types of market participants: funds, retail traders, sophisticated traders, and market makers. First up, let's talk about funds. Now, this category includes things like your pension funds, hedge funds, mutual funds, all of these types of things. Now, when you encounter these people in the options market, their primary motivation tends to be hedging, not speculation. They're usually buying puts to hedge against their stock portfolios. Now, because their goal is protection and not necessarily bargain hunting, they are actually more price insensitive than other players in the market. If they have to pay up for insurance, they're willing to do it. And this actually makes them a great counterparty for option sellers, because if we can identify where they are willing to overpay for protection, then we can go and be the ones who provide it to them. All right, so the second category is retail traders. If you are unfamiliar with this category, feel free to pop onto Reddit and see for yourself. You'll see a lot of retail traders talking about the stocks that they're interested in, talking about what they're doing with AMC, or trying to find strategies to make returns in the market. Now, a lot of times retail traders are drawn to the options market because of the leverage that options can give them. But some of the characteristics about these traders is that they're often inexperienced and they tend to be very price insensitive. If they think a stock is going to go up a bunch, they want to buy a call option and they don't really care whether they're paying $5, $6, $7 for that option. And for this reason, they're actually another ideal counterparty for an option seller. They're often buying high and selling low, giving you an edge as the one who takes the other side of the trade from them. By the way, if you want to run some systematic option selling strategies that are kind of boring but actually make money, click the link in the description below and take a free trial. I'll leave it at that, but trust me, it's worth your time. All right, the third category of trader that you will encounter on the market is the sophisticated trader. Sophisticated traders are the pros: proprietary traders, prop firm specialists, individual retail traders who found an edge, insiders. There are lots of people who could be under this category of sophisticated trader. People in this category usually understand option pricing, they understand volatility, and these are the people who hunt for inefficiencies and exploit them like pros. If you have a reason to believe that a sophisticated trader is on the other side of your trade, then you probably do not actually want to be entering into that position. The odds of there being information asymmetry, of them knowing something that you don't know, is really high. So avoid these situations if at all possible. It is not the person you want to be trading against, right? There's an analogy that I really like. It's a poker one that says the most important part about being a good poker player is knowing which table to play at. Right? If you had the option of playing at a table full of a bunch of guys on their bachelor party versus a bunch of professional poker players, you should obviously pick to play at the one with the bachelor party people because their motivation for being at the game is very different. They are there to have fun, whereas you're there to make money. That makes them an ideal person to compete against. Sit down at the table with the sharks and everyone's there to make money, and it's going to be very hard to extract a return. So in the same way, retail traders and hedge funds, great for trading against. Sophisticated traders, try to avoid them. All right, the fourth and final group that you will see in the market are called market makers. Now, I know that in the retail trading space, and a lot of us have been conditioned to believe that market makers are the bad guy, the ones stealing our tendies. But in reality, market makers are a very important part of the market. They're the ones who provide liquidity. When you go to place a trade, you see there's a bid and an ask. And the reason the bid and the ask are usually quite tight or fairly priced is actually because market makers are willing to post a bid and an ask price and hold inventory that makes it possible for traders to transact. Market makers are usually not betting on direction, and they're actually making their money by trading this bid-ask spread and holding inventory of different assets. So you can kind of think of them as the middleman between you and other people transacting. They're not some big scary wolf that's out there trying to catch us. They are really there to provide a service to the market and earn a compensation doing so. And for this reason, actually, a lot of the times that you are placing trades, you will actually transact with a market maker. But it's important to understand the nuances around them because that helps you see that your real counterparty is usually someone else entirely. So why is thinking about the people on the other side of your trade so important? Well, it's because when you start thinking this way, you stop treating the market like some random force or like a casino or something. You start to think of it as what it really is: a market where you transact with other people. There is an exchange of value. There is payment for some sort of product or some sort of exposure. And you also realize that some counterparties, such as retail traders and hedge funds, are the perfect customer, the person you want to be transacting with, because inherently to what they are engaging with you in a trade for allows you to make a return on the option because their interests lie elsewhere. The hedge fund wants to hedge their stock portfolios and the retail trader wants the ability to speculate. You can think of it like insurance for hedge funds and providing access to roulette for the retail traders, right? Those are reasonable analogies to use. So every time you place a trade, just ask yourself, who's on the other side and why are they trading with me? If you can answer that, you can place a trade with more conviction. And if you want help building strategies like that, link in the description, you know where to find me. All right, everyone, happy trading. Talk soon.